Hello guys, welcome to this special commentary video focused on my subscribers' gameplays. If you want to join and be part of the next commentary video with subscribers, please upload your Dream Witch gameplay to YouTube or similar service and send me the link via email, which is in the description. Also, most players that send these gameplays to me are beginners with Dream Witch, so of course everyone commits mistakes, they commit mistakes, no judging, let's not be toxic, let's keep the commentary section a healthy place. So also remember that the quality of the videos that I will be commenting on this kind of commentary, they depend exclusively of the uploader. So if you want to participate on the next video, make sure to get it in the finest quality possible. With no further ado, let's get straight to the video. Eversleeping Town after the rework became a very fair map for Dreamwitch because the chairs are better distributed. This spot, however, is not a good one because if you go from this palette to surprise attack the survivor, he will only leave by the other pallet, or if you go the other way around, he does the other way around as well. What I would do here is wait for the spawn to get a little closer, make the leech to scare the survivor so he starts to run off. I would follow him with the main body until he gets off this pallet area, and so I can hit him in an open space like the one he is going to. Postman stalled long enough, so he just gave up on pursuing him. Should have destroyed that planet, however, and he spots Priestess and patrol her. But this is a very good map for Priestess. That are portals, so maybe we need to really think through the places in which we will patrol Priestess in this kind of map, moonlit and etc. Otherwise, she can buy enough time to get rid of the patroller by the portals going on and on. So here, fortunately for him, he could hit her. Now in this position, he leached her outside to corner her, but there is no guarantee she would actually jump from the window. She could make a portal downstairs, and he could have performed the window trick to try to hit her, or at least put the main body in a more strategic location so he wouldn't lose the leech hitting her. Despite Priestess have a fast heal up, he should have leeched her before taking to the basement, because as soon as she is chaired, the rescue service starts, and he won't have time to prepare the basement enough. See, he was just putting the leech in a very strategic location, but the rescuer was already inside. Since it's a perfumer, I would focus on her since she decodes faster, and before she rescued I would use patroller so I would neutralize her perfumes. And here he managed to get back Priestess. I would chair perfumer first, not to run the risk of she fleeing away, but at least everything went well at the cost of one leech. This would be a very good time to chair both and put spawn up there, because spawn in the basement is not a very good place. It was a successful double rescue, and we need to pay attention now because one cipher remaining, no one is dead, and only one leech in the game. So now it's time to shift strategies. Let's put the more leeches we can and camp the ciphers. It's more important than killing. For example, here they were healing each other, good to leech them, but now after you leech them, you should go after the one person that is decoding and therefore not chaired nor healing. So you know which cipher would be popped. And take spawn to camp that cipher, because you don't have abnormal to buy more time, and if you use leeches to do so, you will run the risk of the leeches being removed. And also avoid using the leeches to hit the survivors they are following, because you can't be understaffed in the end game. The more leeches you have, especially when you use the strategy of camping both gates with teleport, you need to make sure you have the most followers at once. Now, Cherry the barmaid, you wanted to take her to basement. Bad idea for two reasons. First, she struggles out very fast. Second, it's endgame. You don't need your spawn down there. You need where you can control and easily recover that kill. So here, what should be done is leeching barmaid, leave the leech, camping the cipher, and go with spawn to the cipher being decoded, because you control spawn, the survivors don't. You see here Postman going for the rescue. Managed to hit him once, but here is the end game of the survivors. What they usually do, they go there, they start stalling so the cipher can be completed, and if the rescue gets down, they only prime the machine and rescue. Here you could use time, because Postman has no easy access to the chair thanks to the pallets, and leech him. The more leeches the better, since Barmaid's leech will soon disappear after she dies. With more leeches, this endgame is very important, because you will need to use a teleport to avoid the gate opening. And the most important teleport in Dream Witch is the main body's teleport. So the good of having leeches on the game is that you can teleport two different leeches to two different gates and figure out where survivors will be trying to go out. So then you know where to teleport the main body. With the understaffing you were in, that was difficult, and they managed to open the gate. So now you need to resort on killing Postman far away from the dungeon and scaring off Priestess so she won't rescue and probably ruin your victory. Moonlit River Park, a great map for Dreamwitch, but the location in which you went first is not because of the roller coaster. So here, you try to Terror Shock Priestess, but notice that as soon as spawn is still far, she stops decoding, which means you won't be able to Terror Shock her, so you should uh, not wait for surprise attack and leech first, so you can surround her better. You decided to leech before she went to the roller coaster, right? But you put the leech very close to the station, so the leech won't be automatic following, and then you lose a little bit of time. But you are going to keep it up with main body. Now you get to the chase with the follower. They buy some time with the pallet, but notice, they are running exactly to the direction in which spawn is coming from, so you should have changed the bodies first to intercept them in their escaping route. So you get to the chase again, you try to blink hit Priestess, but it was a very miscalculated blink. And it's not recommended for two reasons. One, actually, because you run the risk of hitting Perfume in that process, and she could heal herself and you would have wasted one blink. And blink is a very difficult trait to use because the cooldown is very big. Nonetheless, you manage to kill Priestess, you chair her in a very far away chair, but you could use this time in which you are patrolling the surroundings to put the spawn follower in a more strategic place, like in a cipher they are decoding, in the bridge where they will come from, in a escaping route that Priestess would probably use if rescued. You don't do that, and as a result, there are followers that can't help in a chase, in stopping the rescue. Perfume goes to rescue. I would use this opportunity to chair her because she decodes faster than Priestess and Enchantress. You would nerf their Cypher Rush for a very big time, but you focus on Priestess. At least it's her second chair, so no problem there. You still could use this little time you have to put the other leeches in more strategic places. Something that really helps in high tier. Every time you see perfumers doing that, helping in a rescue, trying to body block, and you see the opportunity to give her one hit, do it. For example, you won't give up on chairing Priestess the last time because it would guarantee one kill, but you could have taken the time to harm Perfumer once, so she won't be able to rescue and her perfumes would be unuseful. In that place, for example, you could have hit Doctor, so she won't be able to rescue and she won't be able to decode. The game looks good for you because you killed someone, have 2 leeches, and is going to put the 3rd leech, but you are not using the leeches. For example, Doctor and Enchantress are there, deleting. So of course, the one who will be decoding the last cipher is Perfumer, which doesn't delete, and that's good for you. You should check her leech, you can't forget it exists, so you could stop Cipher Rush. For example, here, when you use her leech to down Doctor, we see that she's in that cipher, so the next logical step is to chair Doctor closest to that cipher and take spawn there. Don't camp ciphers with leech, like don't camp critical ciphers with leech because they can delete it and prime the machine. Use a spawn because then you will be able to stall the game long enough to get everybody down. It's time to shift strategies, not killing but preventing everyone from leaving. And you would be able to do that with spawn. They won't risk a terror shock decoding that cipher. They would have to stop, regroup, re-strategize, and delete. That would take time, long enough for you to guarantee a victory. Even though they decoded the last cipher, it's a good situation for you because Doctor will be dead and both survivors will be leeched yet. It's now a matter of using the leeches to spy on them and stop them from decoding the gate until you kill everybody with detention. For example, here you could have used the same chair for Doctor, so the leech would be out of radius right after and gone to the gate. You now have to do that work of switching fast as you are doing. And as soon as they get far enough, like here where Enchantress used the roller coaster, take it out of radius and go to Perfumer. Keep track of her. Pay attention to every leech you have and every survivor's positions. That's key for winning that game. Here you get carried away by Enchantress and you don't notice the Perfumer's leech going to the gate, so you won't be able to stop the gate opening, which puts the victory in jeopardy because it opens the possibility of Enchantress going away either from the dungeon or from the gate, kiting and stuff. Now you should chair Enchantress and scare Perfumer out so you can have the victory. It's not a perfect victory, but it's good enough. It's victory nonetheless. Okay, Red Church, this is a good starting point because there aren't many pellets here and you will try to Terror Shock Priestess. But here, you wait until spawn stops, then you would finally switch to spawn and terror shock her, while you just tipped her that she should run away. How can we terror shock people like this? When spawn is close enough, like few steps from the cipher, we switch already and give a hit. Well done here, using Patroller to stop the portal and getting the free hit. And you should have used Spawn to get that hit. You would be able to, because Patroller would last a little longer. And this way you just lost a follower, but no big problem here since you will recover that leech with presence. You switch targets, it was right, it was a perfumer and you got lucky and hit her, but it's not good to go after perfumers without the main body's patroller, because the perfumes are very annoying. But everything did well. Now you have to leech her and wait for the rescue to arrive. The rescue is here and you could have done better in two ways. You have two options. You could use Patroller when you saw Lucky Guy coming, and either waiting for him to rescue Perfumer and biting Perfumer so you can recover that kill, or bite Lucky Guy to get the first hit and make him lose time of rescuing, so the chair would go further from the middle and Perfumer would be most certainly dead in the next time if you had waited for before hitting the Lucky Guy right on the chair. Okay, Perfumer will die soon. It will be her last time on the chair, and you get carried away pursuing Enchantress. You should use that time to lead someone else, since Perfumer is the only leech host in this game and she will soon be carried out of the game. Also, you should have chaired Priestess first, or at least leeched Priestess so you could chair both at the same time, because Priestess have this annoying habit of healing themselves really quickly. This patroller was a mistake because Priestess is very far away and in a place in which she can install the patroller using portals and you can do nothing about, and like you just lost her. Fortunately enough, you could bite another person that is injured, so you can get a chair right now, and that's good. After chairing, you leeched, but you could have placed that leech near the cipher Enchantress was on, so you would have already one leech camping a cipher. Here was another opportunity. You could have patrolled the rescuer and bought some time for the rescue to be delayed. This patroller was right and wrong at the same time, right because it would guarantee a down in middle game, but a wrong because you didn't make spawn start following, so you will have to use a leech to down Enchantress, and in the middle game and the end game, it's not a great idea to lose leeches. You need to guarantee you have as many as possible. You just can give yourself the luxury of losing the leeches when it's early game. Here, fortunately enough, you Terror Shocked Priestess, you should have, instead of chairing Priestess, you could have prioritized leeching more people, since she can't heal herself anyways. So, okay. You decide to leech her, fortunately, and you see that they are healing in order for rescue. You could have used a patroller to avoid it and guarantee a kill faster. Fortunately, you just downed another person, and the game looks good so far. Though you could have let the Enchantress dead on the floor, because Lucky Guy is still alive and he can make you lose more time. Good job here, using the meantime in which Enchantress is in the balloon for trying to avoid the rescue. Could have used that leech to try to hit someone else, since it cancels your recovery, but everything ended well. Princess will fall again in her last chair. Enchantress is injured and Lucky Guy is dead. Good job. But now you go after Priestess so you can chair her, and that's a mistake, because Enchantress now can just use the dungeon and leave. You could have let Priestess on the ground with her leech by her side, so you would have enough time to kill Enchantress before she uses the dungeon. This starting point is tricky, but it's right to enter it from this palette to make spawn go from this way. The survivor will probably use the window by the cipher to leave, so what would be good is going through this palette until spawn is close enough, then you use the window trick in that window and you get the free hit. Fortunately though, you manage a terror shock on Seer, but here is a mistake. This chair you are going to use is terrible on Dreamwitch, because it's way too easy to kite and leave. Many pallets, many walls, whatever. First officer was the one to rescue. He is my personal favorite rescuer. You just need to use patroller on him and he's dead. So you could have used patroller there. Here is another opportunity. You make Seer use the all, so you could have patrolled Seer, hit him to get rid of the all, and down him again for the second time, and that would be a um, very great early game. This patroller was a mistake because it was in a very avoidable area, very far away from everyone, so he can stall you for. He has good chances of avoiding that patroller actually. Fortunately for you, he couldn't, and you get that kill. You could keep it up with him, but that is not a good patroller. You always want to patrol people near the follower and in a very difficult area to use pellets to stun to buy time. So you are going manually with spawn, where it should be better to take spawn out of radius and then you leech him and spawn would get there by itself. In this place, it's very good that you injured the immediate rescuer. And this is a tricky situation because I don't have time to leech because Tinnitus is telling you that someone is close, probably Perfumer because it's the only one that can rescue, so you could have used Patroller to avoid that rescue. And focus on Perfumer, always, because Patroller would make her hit, Seer would probably get away, but that's not a problem because Perfumer can decode faster, Perfumer can kite better, good enough, you manage the kill and the chair. Problem here again, who will rescue is Perfumer because she's the only one not injured and you don't know where all the people are. So as soon as Tinnitus was on, you should have used Patroller to see where people would be coming from. Then you would be able to stop the rescue very far away from the chair and double hitting people. And Patroller is better than the followers to do this raider thing because it's very, very faster. Here thought about putting another leech on the game, which is always a good idea, but the people were healing. You could have entered the building, used the patroller to avoid the healing, then leech the person and down them. Now you have a leech on the game, which is good, but two fully healthy people, and one of them is Perfumer. You should focus now on First Officer because he's the one who is injured, even though he is not the best decoder on this team right now. But it would get you in a better position because you would get the rescuer to the chair and the healthy people would have to rescue and then you would injure them again. That would be a very bad scenario to the survivors. This is a situation in which doesn't matter who will go to the chair, what matters is having that chair. Great timing in switching to blink. It is the great idea. You switch. There is no right time to switch. It's when you can guarantee a chair where you need, and that was the case. Now you can't get relaxed in middle game. Mid game is important, but people think, oh, I have time. There are 3 ciphers remaining yet. But the problem is, those ciphers will probably end sooner than you think because probably they were being decoded by the early game. So here you should focus on discovering which cipher will be the last one so you can shift the strategy from chairing and killing to impeding people to get out. And in this case, you should camp the cipher with spawn, because camping with leeches make people remove that leech and prime the cipher. Spawn is controlled by you, and then you can buy enough time even though you don't have abnormal. This is a good situation. Even though they primed the machine, you have a leech and 2 followers surrounding that one of the survivors, so you can guarantee a win here. There is nothing you can do about First Officer because you don't have teleport nor leeches on him. So it's good to focus on that victory right now. So you will be able to kill Perfumer. It won't be a perfect victory because First Officer will go away, but good enough. So that was it for today, guys. I hope you like it. If you wanna participate in the last subscribers video I do, upload your Dream Witch gameplay to YouTube and send me the link via email. Um, have a nice weekend, have fun, stay safe, and See you next week.